Hi, and welcome back to Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants, the go-to podcast for holistic health seekers looking to harness the power of nature for health and healing. I'm Jen. I'm a passionate health educator, whole food plant-based culinary coach, and master herbalist, and I'm with my friend Dan, an exercise specialist and wonderful master herbalist. Together, we dive into the world of natural healing, bringing you a wealth of knowledge and practical advice. We draw from both traditional wisdom and modern science with herbs and foods to help you achieve optimal health. So, for today, what if I told you fiber could slow your aging? We're always talking about how important it is to eat fiber for digestion, for our gut health, for helping with the microbiome, but it actually can slow aging at the cellular level. So, what are your thoughts, Dan?
Well, this is amazing, and I think that it should encourage people to reach for their fruits and vegetables because studies are
Yes.
showing that fiber, I mean, we always talk about it because we want you to have good bowel movements, but now they're showing that fiber actually protects our telomeres, that these are the caps at the ends of our DNA strands. These telomeres determine how fast we age, and fiber slows down the processors, these things shortening, so we age slower. And who doesn't want to age slower? I mean, there's so much I want
Right.
to do in my life. I want to slow it down as much as I can, because, you know,
Amen.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I think I first heard about telomeres from Dr. Oz many, many years ago. And I know it's very controversial to talk about Dr. Oz. Um, so I'm not saying that that's where I get my facts from. I do research, but I'd never heard of telomeres before until I heard him talking about telomeres. And then maybe 5 to 10 years ago, I was a part of one of Dr. Furman's nutritarian studies, and he actually had everyone do a true age test. And I did do a true age test, and I was hoping it would say I was 15 years younger than I am, but I wasn't. It was like 5 or 7 years younger than I actually am. I wanted it to be more, but the truth is, I haven't always eaten a lot of fiber. As a matter of fact, I probably have only been eating a lot of fiber for the last 10 years. And so I don't know how long I had been whole food plant based when I had the test. It could have been 5 years. But my health and the health of my diet, the nutrition in my diet really changed after I turned 44. So maybe 10 years ago. I'm not 54, so um about 40 years. So I had 40 years of poor eating. So I'm really impressed that I am younger than I actually am. So that's a long way to say that. But it was really interesting because I looked at the telomeres to see what they are considering your age at this point. So it was really kind of cool to me. So it's fascinating to me to hear about fiber and how fiber is related to it. And so I'm so excited that you wanted to talk about this today because fiber is only in our plant foods. And Dr. Khan shared something this week, and I don't think he wrote it, and I wish I could remember who actually wrote it. I ended up sharing it. But the average American doesn't even eat a piece of fruit a day, and 9 out of 10, so 90% don't even eat the recommended daily allowance of vegetables a day. So that's insane to me. What are people eating if they're not eating fruits and vegetables, right? They're eating crap. They're not getting fiber. We get our fiber from our plants. And so no wonder they're aging and we're having higher incidences of dementia and things like that. So I didn't mean to get off on a tangent, but what do you think about that?
I think it's a shame. I mean, I don't think the general public are very educated on this topic about how their nutrition is so important to their aging. And also, see, a lot of people that I come across, normal people, they associate aging with illness, that it's inevitable, but it is not
Yeah.
inevitable. Yeah, it's your lifestyle. Your lifestyle just catch up. It will catch up with you. If you're like
Yes.
50 or more older, and you've
Hmm.
been, you haven't eaten any fruits or vegetables lately, and you're eating fast food and whatever you can get, that's
Yeah.
the reason you're gaining weight. That's the reason maybe your blood pressure's up, your cholesterol is up, maybe even your blood sugar's off. It all
Right.
goes back to what you're eating.
Well, I totally agree about that. And I was talking to someone yesterday. And we were talking about why do people eat the way they do? Why do they wait until they're really sick to make a change? And how sick do they get? Like, they get a little sick and they don't make a change. They have to be like really sick for some people. Some people here, hey, there's a risk and they change their diet. But some people, they're like on their deathbed before they change their diet. But we were talking, and we really think it comes down to TV and commercials. You know, on TV, how many people? What are people eating on TV? Right? What are the commercials showing people eating? And people are happy and they're
Mm.
having fun eating crap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they have I remember the old Hardee's commercials. I mean they even put sex in there, they were and so it's attractive to people to eat, these cheeseburgers that are dripping with cheese, and you can see the oil running off of them, and eating the French fries and things like that. And so they make those look attractive, have so much fun with the colored cereals, Fruit Loops and Tricks and all of that. That's a lot of fun. We need to eat that, and the Pop-Tart commercials and all that. So there's no nutrition in any of those things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no fiber in any of those things. And so I think that we're just ingrained from an early age. It's fun to eat these other things. And then the older we get, like my generation, we grew up watching TV and commercials, and then all the generations below us, the same thing.
Yeah, it's peer pressure too. Everybody believes this is
Ugh.
fun to eat these foods that are hurting our health and you drink. But the truth is, once you learn the nutritional science and you learn that eating healthy can actually make you healthier and help you to age slower, that's fun.
Yes.
Because
Yes. Yes, I say this all the time. I got more creative in the kitchen when I gave up the meat and the cheese. It became fun, and like I teach my clients, eat the rainbow. How fun is that to come up with different colors? I like the plate to look pretty. And when I run challenges, I know you have a challenge coming up. But when I run challenges, people start competing to have a prettier plate. Well, how do you make your plate prettier? You add more colors. And how do you add more colors? We don't put Skittles on our dishes. We find colorful fruits and vegetables to make it really pretty. And those bright colors pop and make it look appetizing. So it's delicious, it's highly nutritious, and it's so much fun to come up with that. I mean, my kids, they loved coming up with something else. Oh, this is missing red. We need to add, mini red bell peppers or cherry tomatoes or something. Kids even love it when you have fun with it.
and I want to add this because this even shocked me. I think a lot of people are afraid to go plant-based because they're afraid that they will not be able to eat tasty foods anymore.
Yeah.
But so when I started a plant-based diet and I stuck to it religiously, and then every once in a while I would go back and eat some of the foods that I thought were tasty, and they
Yes.
taste like crap now.
They're horrible.
It's
They're
amazing. I
horrible.
can't believe it.
Yes. We did that. There was a restaurant we used to go to in college. It was like one of our favorite places to go. And it may have, I don't know, it's been a while now, but we went back to that place to eat, and we couldn't believe how horrible it was. It was like, we used to think this was good. It's terrible. It's terrible. And I swear, if you eat like this now and then you go and eat like a Pop-Tart or a
Oh,
Ding Dong or something like that, they're horrible. You can taste
the
like a plastic
chemicals.
taste.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's horrible. Our taste buds are literally hijacked by these food companies
Hmm.
so that these things taste good to us. But when you undo it, it can take you, a couple of days. For some people, it can take a couple of weeks of not eating it, but for your gut bugs change, your taste buds change, and then you're like, wow,
Yes.
food tastes so good. I love my food. I hate to eat at restaurants because I can cook food at home that tastes a whole lot better than what I can eat in a restaurant.
Yes, the food on this diet is better than anything you've ever had. And I'm not I'm not lying to you. The stuff I eat now, I love it. And it is
Hmm.
healing me and keeping me healthy. So don't worry about the taste. This diet is delicious. Okay.
Yes, yes. We make it fun and easy
Mm-hmm.
and delicious. Yes. Yes,
I just
it
want to
doesn't
taste
have to
that.
be bland and boring. And I think that that's a lot of people when they think, if I were to give up meat and cheese, what would I be eating? And they're picturing the little side salad, the iceberg lettuce with a couple of slivers of tomato and a couple slices of cucumber. And
Yeah.
that is so much more than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes, yes. So let's dig into the science a little bit. So the more fiber you eat, the better protected your telomeres. And so that I remember I'm going back to Dr. Oz when he was talking about telomeres, and I'd had no idea what they were, and I've looked at them since, but he referred to them as being a lot like the thing on the end of a shoestring, that little plastic covering. So that's the cap. So it has like your telomeres have this coating on them, and as we age, that coating gets shorter and shorter, and it starts to unravel. Well, we don't want it to unravel because if you ever had a shoestring that does that, right, you can't even put it back in the loop. And so we want to protect it as much as possible. And eating anti-inflammatory foods, eating anti oxidant rich foods, which are our polyphenols, those beautiful bright colored foods, eating the rainbow really helps a lot. And those same foods are very, very high in fiber. And this fiber doesn't just help to protect our age and keep us looking younger and feeling younger. It's also linked to reducing risks of heart disease, diabetes, neurodegenerative conditions. So helping prevent dementia, prevent Parkinson's, prevent Alzheimer's, and things like that. And so it's much more than just protecting our age. We need to find ways to get fiber in as much as possible. I can't remember what percentage. I wish I had looked it up before we got on the call. But so many people don't eat the recommended, depends. I think women is 25 grams a day and men is 35 grams of fiber a day. But it was shocking. It was something like 95% of Americans don't meet that requirement. And like my breakfast today was 30 grams of fiber. And so it's hard for me to even fathom that people are not eating enough fiber.
Yeah, I mean, we know if they're not eating fiber, the foods they're eating are bad for them.
Processed,
You know,
right?
processed. Yeah.
Highly processed or animal products,
Yeah.
which also age you.
Yeah, and they increase your risk of these chronic diseases. So,
Yeah, yeah.
wow, it's like I see this chart they're saying that well, another thing that a high fiber diet helps to reduce is your risk of a stroke. And look, strokes, they scare me. I think they probably scare most people because if it
Yeah,
doesn't kill you, man,
yeah.
it can really do a number on your quality of life. So there's a new study
Right.
showing that the risk of stroke decreased significantly by every 12%. No, no, I'm sorry. It reduces 12% for each 10 grams of fiber you eat a day. You decrease the risk of stroke 12%. And this is another, Dr. Greger was
Wow.
talking about this, about
Mhm,
how for every 7 grams of fiber you add to your diet, your risk of stroke goes down for every 7 grams.
mhm.
So that's another big important thing because strokes, it's still what, number 4, number 5 up there where causes of death still.
Right, right. Yeah, that's
Um,
crazy. And so I would like to know, I wish we had an example of what something that has 7 grams of fiber in it. But that's crazy. And so if we could just increase to 7 grams. So, and I wonder, we'll have to look at that study. I wonder how many grams they were starting with. Are we talking about people who are only eating 10 grams a day and they went up to 17 grams a day?
yeah.
Or are we talking about people who were eating, the 25 or 35 grams a day and then added 7 grams in addition to that? I know we were talking before. I generally get around 60, between 60 and 80 grams of fiber a day. And I'm not telling anyone who's listening to eat 60 or 70 grams of fiber today if you didn't eat any fiber yesterday. So we do need to pause for a second and talk about that. So you have, this wonderful microbiome. We hear about it all the time now. But you have your own colony of inhabitants in your microbiome, and they eat the foods that you are eating. And so if you have a bunch of bacteria that love sugar because you've been eating a lot of sugar, when you change your diet, you stop eating that sugar, that's when you start getting those horrible cravings because those microbes are in there screaming, "Give me my sugar, I'm starving to death." And you also need microbes that help to protect your gut lining. And those microbes need fiber. They feed on fiber. And so we have to put the fiber in there to grow the correct colony in there. But if I have not been eating fiber and I don't have the appropriate colony in there, and then I stuff a bunch of fiber in my belly, I don't have anything to break that fiber down. And I start getting this horrible gas and bloating and pain. And then I say, I can't eat those foods. Well, it's not that I can't eat those foods. It's I need to grow that colony. So I need to gradually increase my fiber. So if you're not eating fiber today, maybe you've been eating a carnivore diet, then you need to start adding in a couple of things a day, just a couple of things a day. Increase to 10 grams, then increase to 20 grams, and then increase to 30 grams, slowly incorporating those to grow the right colony that's going to help protect your gut lining. A lot of times, what we find is, and I think we said this last week, maybe, a lot of people, when they start something like a high, a keto diet, traditional keto diet that's high in animal products, or they eat a carnivore diet, they feel really good. They lose weight really quickly and they feel like they have more energy until they don't. Then they hit a spot where the body's going, wait, we can't keep doing this anymore because they need the fiber. They're losing, your microbiome is going to sustain you for a little while, but then they're going to start dying off. And when some of those die off, they start to eat your gut lining. And then that is what creates cancer risk and asthma and allergies and all these other things. So we have to make sure that we increase the fiber, but you do need to increase it slowly. And that's going to improve all of your other risks. Like Dan was talking about, the stroke risk is going to improve that. You're just 7 grams a day. And so we'll have to look that up and see what item is 7 grams a day. What can we add in a day to just get 7 grams? It's not going to be much. And then like a 10-gram increase in fiber reduces colon cancer risk. And so just adding that fiber, just eating those plant foods is going to help so much. Fiber binds to toxins in the body. So many people like detox is so huge. Just increasing your fiber is going to help you naturally detox from different things. It's going to bind to carcinogens. It's going to bind to excess estrogens. And when you grow the right bacteria by eating the right fiber, then you're producing those postbiotics. We hear about prebiotics and probiotics, but postbiotics are what protects your gut lining and does that repair work. And we have to eat fiber to get all of that. So I didn't mean to go on a tangent.
Uh, Well, another study is about dementia. And look, I have somebody in my family that has dementia, and it is horrible. It is just, but anyway, there's a study. It's a 16-year study using adults between the ages of 40 and 64. And it showed that those consuming the most daily fiber, which was an average of 20 grams of fiber a day, they
Mhm.
had the lowest rates of dementia. And people who ate the least fiber have the highest rates of dementia. And dementia is
Wow.
rampant. It's rampant. I think I have
Yes.
two neighbors right now that have it. And my father-in-law
Yeah.
has it. I know three people right now.
I've had a lot of family members, a lot of family members have had dementia. And then a lot of people that we know have had Parkinson's. And
Hmm.
so it's all neurodegenerative, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you can avoid it.
You
And
can avoid
Dr.
it. Yes.
Dean Ornish now, Dr. Dean Ornish is doing a study on
Hmm.
dementia and plant-based diet, and he is having great success. He's proving that he's even
Yes.
reversing like mild, like the early stages of
Hmm.
Alzheimer's. He's actually reversing it in his patients with a plant-based diet.
Wow. That's fabulous. That's
Yeah,
fabulous. I know that you have a family member and I know that you saw some reversal with
I
some
did.
dietary change there for a while, but
He
you can't
quit.
just it can't just be temporary, right? It
Yeah,
has
he
to be a
didn't.
permanent change. So we call it a diet, plant-based diet. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle. It's
Yeah.
just eat plants. Just eat plant. Like I'm not on a diet. I just eat plants. I
Hmm.
just eat plants. Foods that come from the ground, foods I can grow, and things like that. So I did a quick search just to see. So 7 grams of fiber is in half a cup of beans. And
Wow.
so, yeah, so eating a half a cup of black beans gives you almost 8 grams of fiber. Half a cup of pinto beans is almost 8 cups of fiber. A half a cup of mung beans. So if you don't eat beans, but you can eat sprouts, then sprout some mung beans. That gives you lots of protein and also gives you 7.7 grams of fiber. So that's fabulous. And then fruit, a cup of raspberries is 8 grams. Um,
Wow.
a cup of avocado is 10 grams. So, I mean, that's so easy to add, to your food. Add a half a cup.
Yes.
There you go. And you just reduce your risk of heart disease and stroke.
So easy. So everybody can do that. I mean, half a cup is nothing.
Right. Right. And once again, if you don't eat beans, don't eat a half a cup today.
Yeah.
Eat maybe eat a quarter cup this week. This week, add a quarter cup every day. And then next week, maybe you can have your half a cup and grow
Yeah,
those
my
microbes.
it's amazing. You can build up your tolerance to be. I can eat 2 cups of beans now and be okay, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. Yeah, I
So,
probably do. Yeah,
yeah.
I probably had 2 cups of beans last night and
Yeah.
had dinner. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you have a black bean soup or a chili or something like that. I
Mhm.
know some people don't have beans in their chili, but mine is only beans, so
Yeah, me too. So,
yeah.
just work your way up slowly. You'll be amazed how your body will adjust.
Yes, yes, and like I said, it can be so easy. It can be looking at your plate and saying, how can I add some colors, add some beans, add some seeds. Seeds add lots of fiber as well.
Hmm.
And then like I said, so 90% of Americans don't get enough fiber. So they don't, and by get enough means they're not eating the 25 to 35 recommended by the USDA. So those guidelines, the USDA guidelines, those are not written for optimal health. Those are written for survival. And so I'm going to survive if I eat 25 to 35 grams of fiber. So let's go back to that. 90% are not eating enough to survive. Maybe that's what's related to autoimmune disease and cancer, and metabolic disease. People just aren't eating their fiber. They just need to eat their fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are very high in fiber. Nuts and seeds are very high in fiber. And once again, beans, a half a cup of beans can give you 7 grams of fiber. And so there's so many ways that we can work fiber in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever diet you're eating now, it's easy to add fiber. So that's
Yes.
and all the health benefits you're gonna get.
Yes. And so what foods shorten telomeres?
Oh, well, red meat, eggs, dairy, all the stuff we preach against. We don't do it just because we're trying to be food Nazis. These foods actually worsen our health. And look, I mean, America is one of the sickest countries on the planet, and our diets are the most horrendous.
Yes. Yes.
So there's
Yes.
a connection.
One serving of processed meats a week will shorten your telomeres. So someone will
Wow.
say, well, I only eat it once a week. Well, guess what? That will shorten your telomeres. Higher intakes of red meat decreases telomeres in colon cells. So they've actually seen this in studies. Sodas, so a 20-ounce serving of soda can cut your lifespan by 4.6 years. That's if you drink. So 120-ounce Coke a day will reduce your length span by 4.6 years.
Wow.
Alcohol, refined grains. So that I think that is just hilarious. So I haven't seen the new USDA guidelines, which will be coming out because this is 2025. So that I should be able to review it. So you can probably Google it and review it if you're interested in reviewing it. But the last time I looked, it said 50% of your grain should be whole grain. So if 50% of our grain should be whole grain, that means 50% can be refined. Well, consumption of refined flour grains is related to shorter telomeres. That is right off of the research studies. And so the USDA is telling us it's okay to eat these foods that shorten our telomeres. Saturated fat can reduce our telomeres. High glycemic load, white bread also is shown to shorten telomeres in children and adolescents. So it's beginning at a really early age. And then, of course, sugar.
So, it's easy. I think for me, this is positive news because, so many people are sick. I mean, I come across people, I have clients, and I've had people tell me I feel so bad, I want to kill myself. And I
Oh,
mean, I hate that they're in that space,
I
but
don't
the
want to go
thing,
on. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, you can reverse it. I've had clients reverse things.
Yes, just by adding some fruits and vegetables.
Yes. Yes. So if you're out
Yeah.
there this morning and you're depressed and you know your health isn't where it needs to be, you don't feel well, I have great news. You can turn it around. This is why we do this, you know?
Yes.
You can turn
Yes.
it around.
Yeah, add a salad to your dinner.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Throw in a little bit of beans to your lunch or your dinner. Boom.
Mhm.
Yeah. Add a mini bell pepper to your lunch. Boom.
Oh yeah. Those
Yeah,
are
just
good too.
something, just one I love them. One little
Mhm.
just add another fruit or vegetable or a bean to your dish and you're improving your health. You're
Yeah.
you're increasing your age span. I mean, it's fabulous.
And these small changes, it's amazing.
Mhm.
I've seen so many times how small
Yeah.
changes can add up to big benefits. You know, it's
Yes. Yes.
so you don't have to jump all in like it doesn't have to be overwhelming. You can start slow, start where you're at and just
Y
work your way up. That's how anything works, really.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so just remember an extra 10 grams of fiber a day can slow your aging by over 5 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So how easy is that? Yes. And so fiber is non-negotiable. You need to get
Yep.
that fiber in. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're on a keto diet, I mean, one of these diets where you're just eating meat, come on. You're messing up, you know?
Yes. Yeah, that stuff that gets stuck in your teeth that may feel fibrous, there's no fiber in meat.
Mm-mm.
Fiber is only in our plants.
Only in plants, you gotta add the sauce out to that meat. If you're not gonna quit eating that meat, you at
Yeah.
least need to add some vegetables to it,
Broccoli,
you
some
know?
steamed vegetables. Yeah,
Oh
even
yeah.
steakhouses. Steakhouses have steamed
Oh yeah.
vegetables.
Oh yeah. And
They
sweet
have sweet
potatoes.
potatoes. They have fabulous salads. Right. Right. Boost your fruits and veggies. Yes, because we want everyone to get healthier. We want to reverse. We've seen the horrible effects of dementia. We've seen when people are stumbling and they lose their balance and things like that. And it's all related to our food. Your doctors will say food has nothing to do with it. We've got news for you. Food has everything to do with it. Food
Yes.
has everything to do with it.
It is ridiculous.
Yes.
How can something we do 3 to 6 times a day not
Have
have
nothing to
anything to
do.
do with our health? I mean, come on.
Amen. It's your brain health. It's your mental health. Those gut
Yes.
bugs, there's that gut brain connection. What you feed those gut bugs affects your mental health. Yes. Make some happy bugs. Give them some good fruits and vegetables and feed them well. Yes. So thank you for joining us today. If you want to learn more about me, you can find me at holisticgen.com. That's with a W, holisticgen. And you can find Dan at danthenaturalman.com. We both also have YouTube channels at Holistic Gen and at Dan the Natural Man. If you like what you heard today, please hit subscribe, share with your friends, and we love to hear from you. So comment, comment, comment. We want to hear what you want to know next. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you again next week.